Welcome back to the channel where every coin tells a story and every story could lead to treasure. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about coins from American history, the 1965 Liberty half-quarter dollar, or more commonly known, the U.S. quarter dollar from 1965. But what makes this quarter so special? And what is its true value today in circulated condition? Let's break it down. The year was 1965. The United States was going through massive change. The Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War, and the space race were dominating the headlines. But quietly, something else was happening in your pocket. That year, the U.S. Mint made a major decision. They stopped producing quarters made of 90% silver. Why? Because the price of silver had skyrocketed. People were hoarding silver coins, and the Mint needed a solution to stop the silver drain. So in 1965, they introduced a new composition: copper-nickel-clad coins. No more silver quarters after 1964. That's why the 1965 quarter is a big deal. It marked the beginning of the modern quarter era. The 1965 quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic eagle with outstretched wings sitting atop a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. But here's the thing: even though it looks like older silver quarters, the 1965 version has no mint mark and was not made with silver. It's 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, clad over a pure copper core. So, how can you tell if it's silver or clad? If you look at the edge of the coin and see a brownish copper stripe, it's not silver. That's the clad layer. Alright, now let's talk money. You might be thinking, it's just a quarter. It's only worth 25 cents, right? Well, yes and no. In average circulated condition ***, most 1965 quarters are still worth just 25 cents. Millions were made, over 1.8 billion coins. So it's not exactly rare, but there are exceptions. Some error coins or high-grade uncirculated examples can bring in much more. For example, a circulated 1965 quarter is usually worth $0.25 to $0.35. Mint state coin, MS65 or higher, could be worth $10 to $25 to high-grade specimens, MS67 and up, have sold for $150 or more at auctions. Rare 1965 silver planchet errors, coins mistakenly struck on leftover silver. Blanks from 1964 have sold for thousands of dollars. One even fetched over $7,000. So if you have a 1965 quarter, check its weight. A normal clad version weighs 5.67 grams, while a silver planchet weighs 6.25 grams. You might just be sitting on gold, or should I say, silver. Here's how to check your 1965 quarters for value. Look at the edge ***. Is there a copper stripe? Weigh the coin ***. 6.25 grams might mean it's silver. Off-center strikes, double dies, or missing clad layers can bring value. Coins in mint state, MS65 or higher, are far more valuable. All 1965 quarters were minted in Philadelphia, and they don't have a mint mark. Never clean your coin. Cleaning can reduce its value dramatically. So, is your 1965 Liberty quarter dollar worth more than face value? If it's a regular circulated coin, probably not much. If it's in uncirculated condition, maybe $10 to $25. If it's struck on a silver planchet or has a rare error, it could be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. So check your pocket change, dig through old jars, and don't forget to check those edges. The history behind the 1965 quarter is more exciting than you might think. Let's rewind the clock a bit. From 1932 to 1964, U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. These beautiful coins featured George Washington on the front, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, and became a symbol of everyday American currency. But as the 1960s rolled in, trouble was brewing. Silver prices began to rise rapidly. By the early 1960s, the value of the silver inside coins started to exceed the face value of the coins themselves. People began hoarding silver coins, melting them down, or simply stashing them away, and silver coins started disappearing from circulation. To protect the coin supply, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, a major law that changed U.S. coins forever. As part of this act, silver was removed from dimes and quarters entirely. The 1965 quarter became the first U.S. quarter made with no silver at all. Instead of silver, the Mint began using a copper-nickel-clad composition, a layer of copper sandwiched between two layers of nickel. The new 1965 quarter weighed 5.67 grams, compared to the older silver version, which weighed 6.25 grams. Interestingly, the U.S. Mint didn't use mint marks in 1965, 1966, or 1967 to discourage people from hoarding coins based on where they were made. So all 1965 quarters have no mint mark, even though most were minted in Philadelphia. The change was massive. In 1965 alone, the mint produced over 1.8 billion quarters, making it one of the highest mintage years in U.S. coin history. And even today, the 1965 quarter marks a turning point in American coinage. The end of silver and the start of modern-day clad coins. Oh, next time you see a 1965 quarter, remember, you're holding a piece of monetary history. A coin that represents not just 25 cents, but the beginning of a new era in U.S. currency. 1977 Liberty half-quarter dollar coin ***. Yes, the classic Washington quarter, and uncovering its real value in circulation today. Could it be worth more than just 25 cents? Stick around and find out. The Washington quarter design was first introduced in 1932 in honor of the 200th birthday of George Washington. The 1977 version continues that legacy. It's made of copper nickel clad over a copper core, the standard composition after the U.S. stopped using silver in quarters in 1965. On the front of the coin, you'll see the portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The word Liberty is prominently placed above his head, with the year 1977 stamped below. In God We Trust is to the left. Flip it over and you'll find a majestic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and olive branches. The inscriptions, United States of America, and quarter dollar surround the eagle. The 1977 Liberty quarter was struck at two major mints for circulation: Philadelphia Mint ***, no mint mark, Denver Mint ***, marked with a D. In total, over 468 million quarters were produced in 1977 Philadelphia ***, about 239 million Denver ***, about 256 million. These huge numbers mean it's a common coin, but there's more to the story. Coin condition plays a huge role in value. A 1977 Liberty quarter in circulated condition is usually worth just face value, 25 cents. But if you've got one in uncirculated or mint state, MS, condition, the price can jump. Some collectors hunt for error coins, and yes, there are a few known mint errors on 1977 quarter. These rare errors can push values to $50, $100, or even more, depending on how dramatic the error is. Always inspect your coins under good lighting or use a magnifier to spot possible errors. While most 1977 Liberty quarters are worth just a quarter in your pocket, the value can climb if the coin is in top condition or has rare errors. For collectors, this coin represents an affordable piece of U.S. history. So check your change, dig through old coin jars, and who knows? Let's take a quick dive into the history of the 1977 Liberty quarter, also known as the Washington quarter. This iconic coin has a rich legacy that dates back to 1932. That year marked the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. To honor him, the U.S. Mint replaced the standing Liberty design with a new quarter featuring Washington's bust. The design we see today was created by John Flanagan, a well-known sculptor of the time. It was never meant to be permanent, but due to its popularity and patriotic symbolism, the Washington quarter remained in circulation for decades. In 1965, due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint removed silver from circulating quarters. That's when the clad composition was introduced, a mix of copper and nickel that's still used today. Fast forward to the 1970s, a period of economic change, rising inflation, and coin hoarding in the U.S. The quarter continued to play a vital role in daily transactions. In 1977, the Washington quarter was struck in massive quantities at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. There was no special edition or commemorative version in 1977, but it still holds a unique place in coin history, especially for collectors looking for coins from the late 20th century. Today, the 1977 Liberty quarter is a popular entry point for beginner collectors, not because of rarity, but because of its historical continuity and design significance. Story, condition, and value of the 1983 U.S. quarter, and trust me, this coin might surprise you. The 1983 Liberty quarter, officially called the Washington quarter, carries a rich and fascinating history. It features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, first introduced in 1932 to celebrate Washington's 200th birthday. But 1983 was a unique year for U.S. coinage. Due to budget cuts and changing policies, The U.S. Mint did not produce any official mint sets for circulation in 1982 or 1983. That means most of the 1983 quarters available today come directly from general circulation, where they faced heavy wear and tear. In other words, finding a high-grade 1983 quarter is much more difficult than you'd expect, and that's exactly what has caught collectors' attention. Before we jump into values, let's look at the design and specs of this coin. The bust of George Washington, the word Liberty above his head, and the motto "In God We Trust" on the left. The date, 1983, is placed at the bottom. A majestic bald eagle holding arrows, with olive branches beneath, and United States of America, and E pluribus unum above. The denomination, quarter dollar, is inscribed at the bottom. The coin has a reeded edge, weighs 5.67 grams, and is made from copper nickel clad over a pure copper core. The 1983 Washington quarter was minted at 2 locations: Philadelphia Mint ***, no mint mark, produced 673, 535, 000 coins. Denver Mint ***, marked D, produced 617, 806, 446 coins. That's over 1.29 billion quarters in total. Sounds common, right? But here's the twist. Since most of them were released into circulation and there were no uncirculated mint sets that year, finding one in mint condition is incredibly rare, especially those struck sharply, with full details, particularly on the eagle's feathers on the reverse side. Now, let's talk about circulated value, which is what most of us have in our change jar. In average circulated condition, a 1983 quarter is worth 25 cents, its face value. However, in better circulated grades, like XF extremely fine, values can range from $0.50 to $1, but if you're lucky to find one in AU, about uncirculated, condition, values can go up to $2 to $5, which is rare for 1,983 quarters unless saved from new. These coins can sell for $10 to $50 or more. Especially the Denver D Mint Mark coins. Coin grading is crucial here. Even small differences in wear can mean a big difference in value. If you're a coin hunter, this is where things get exciting. There are a few valuable errors you should be on the lookout for in 1983 quarters. Coins that are not properly centered can be worth $50 to $150, depending on how dramatic the error is. These are coins where the design is struck twice, causing a double image, especially noticeable on the date or letters. These can be worth $100 plus if verified. Coins with a curved section missing due to minting mistakes can fetch $20 to $100, depending on condition. Always examine your coins under good lighting or a jeweler's loupe to catch these small but valuable differences. If you want to collect or sell 1983 quarters, here are a few tips. Check for mint marks ***, especially the Denver D. Look for luster and sharp details ***, especially in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. Avoid heavily worn coins ***, unless they have rare errors. Store in coin flips or albums *** to prevent further wear. Because no official mint sets were released in 1983, high-grade examples are highly sought after. That gives even a common coin like the 1983 quarter a special place in coin collecting history. But if you've got a 1984 Liberty quarter lying around, don't spend it just yet. It might be worth more than you think. Moneybag, let's dive into the hidden value of the 1984 Liberty half-quarter dollar. So first things first, what exactly is the 1984 Liberty half-quarter dollar? Now, in collector terms, when we say half-quarter dollar, we're still talking about the United States 25-cent coin, commonly known as the Washington quarter. The 1984 quarter features the familiar profile of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. The word Liberty appears above Washington's head, with "In God We Trust" on the left, and the date, 1984, clearly shown at the bottom. Flip it over, and you'll see the classic heraldic eagle reverse, with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing America's readiness for war and preference for peace. The 1984 Liberty quarter was minted at 2 main U.S. mint locations. If you spot a tiny D on the right side of Washington's ponytail, near the bottom, congratulations, you've got a Denver minted coin. No letter. That means it's from Philadelphia, 1984. Both mints produced these quarters in large numbers. Philadelphia Mint ***, over 676 million quarters. Denver Mint ***, over 546 million quarters. That's a total of more than 1.2 billion coins. So yes, these coins are quite common in circulation even today. But that doesn't mean they're worthless. So let's talk value. In circulated condition, meaning the coin has been used for everyday transactions and shows some wear. The 1984 quarter is typically worth its face value, 25 cents, but in better condition, especially coins in extremely fine XF to about uncirculated AU grades, values can rise to 50 cents or more depending on demand from collectors. And if your 1984 Liberty quarter is in mint state, MS 60 to MS 67 condition, it could fetch anywhere from $1 to over $20. Especially if it has strong luster and no scratches. Here's where things get exciting. Error coins. Some 1984 quarters have been found with look closely at the word Liberty or In God We Trust. If the letters appear doubled, that's a DDO, and collectors love these. When the coin isn't properly centered during minting, part of the design is missing. These can fetch $10 to $100 depending on severity. These rare mint errors happen when part of the coin's blank is missing, creating a curved edge. These can also be worth $20 or more, so check your change carefully. Error coins from 1984 can turn a 25-cent piece into a valuable find. To evaluate your 1984 Liberty quarter, look for the mint mark, examine the coin's condition, check for any errors or doubling, use a magnifying glass or microscope, compare with online marketplaces like eBay or NGC Price Guide. Don't forget, even a slight error or higher condition grade can drastically increase its value. Oh, there you have it, coin fans. The 1984 Liberty half-quarter dollar might not make you a millionaire, but it's still a valuable piece of U.S. coin history, especially if you find one in mint condition or with rare errors. Check your pocket change, your old piggy bank, or your parents' coin jar, because who knows? That old quarter might just be a treasure in disguise. The 1984 Liberty quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. The obverse design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, features a profile portrait of Washington. This design remained mostly unchanged for decades and became one of the most iconic American coin images. The reverse, used until 1998, showcases a majestic eagle with spread wings, perched on a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches, a classic symbol of American strength and peace. In 1984, the U.S. Mint continued producing quarters with this traditional design before the major change in 1999 when the state quarters program began. So, the 1984 Liberty quarter is one of the last generations of traditional Washington quarters before the new designs took over. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting guides, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a rare coin tip.